Hi, welcome to SDMIC Classes. Accounts learning is very easy. This is in continuation of my previous video about Learn Accounting Part 3. We already completed 3 parts. Now this is the 4th one. In Part 1, 2A, 2B and 3. We briefly explained about accounting, how accounts looks and work, accounting as profession, rules of accounts, aspects of accounts, registers, ledger, general ledger and accounting cycle. Then responsibilities of accountant, many other things also we discuss along with that. Now in this Learn Accounting Part 4 video, I will briefly explain terms in accounting, assets, liabilities, equity and balance sheet formula, and all the places where when what is assets and assets, how to extract get assets, and what is how liabilities, and how to get equity, net worth and all these things. And finally I will explain the format of financial accounts, and the final accounts we will be doing it in part 5 video. Okay, now this here in this I will show the formats, how the formats of the final accounts represented, what are the contents in that. Let us start. Basis and terms in accounts. Methods or types of accounting system. 3 types of accounting system: cash basis, mercantile or accrual basis, mixed or hybrid basis. Cash basis means whatever the transaction happens in cash or will be recorded on receipts or payment basis. Like for example, when a goods is sold, it is recorded. When cash is received, it is recorded. When cash is paid, it is or expenditure it is paid, cash paid, it is recorded. Now that means that immediate payment, like even check payment also or online transfer also, immediate payment is also recorded as a cash basis transaction. Immediate payment, there is no credit, means there is no udari, usme ye nahi hai. That means that transaction happened sometimes and the payment make later. That is not included in the cash account, cash basis accounting. When the recording is done on the basis of actual receipts of cash. Now mercantile or accrual basis. In mercantile or accrual basis, transactions are recorded when they become due for payment or receipt. For example, when on the cash basis, it already told, if it is a cash sales, then the transaction will be recorded immediately. And the same time, if it is a credit sale, for example, the sale is done today and the payment will be receiving after 15 days or 1 month or 2 months or 3 months as per the terms with the customer. So but when the sale is done, the day when the sale is done, it is recorded, and when the payment is received after 15 days or a month or a 2 month or after 3 months, the payment receipt will be recorded at that time. But whenever the transaction happen, it is due for payment or receipt, it is recorded. So the transaction is recorded the time when it is actual transaction is happened. Now in mixed or hybrid basis, both this cash basis and mercantile or accrual basis is taken in this system. Mostly in this case, revenues and assets are generally recorded on cash basis, and expenses are generally taken on an accrual basis. For example, expenses like for example, some expenses are not paid. For example, salary due for the month end. For example, 30th or 31st the salary is due, but it is not done. It will be paid on 2nd or 5th or 7th or next month. Okay, the following month. So, but the salary is actually due. So the transaction is recorded the expenditure is recorded on the basis of that it is accrued. It is due for payment. So in this method, mixed or hybrid basis, both system are followed. And normally in India we follow the system of mercantile or accrual basis of accounting. Now transaction, monetary as well as non-monetary transaction. Transaction, you know, means any exchange of goods. Goods is called a transaction. Any exchange of goods or services or money or anything in exchange of something, it is called a transaction. So there are two types of transactions: monetary as well as a non-monetary transaction. Now monetary transactions are a cash transaction or credit transactions. The cash transaction means that happened immediately on the spot. Credit transaction, the one transaction is happened like when if it is a sale or it is a purchase. On the purchase, when it is made, it is recorded. When the payment is done after some time or that time that payment entry is made. So that time it is a credit transaction. Now process of transactions are entry. The entry will be made at the same when the transaction is happened. So entry means making a record in the register. Narration is a brief description of transaction which is written in the brackets just below the accounting entry. And you know, for example, suppose if some payment is made and after some time we may not be knowing why this payment is made. Maybe the entry may be there, but if the details are not there, it will be totally confused. And suppose if the higher authorities ask for what purpose this entry is made. So in order to clarify that, in order to get a clear thing that there will be a brief narration explaining the entry is given there, so that in later, for example, after 5 months or 6 months after the end of the year, if anybody asks this particular entry is made for what, we will get, means that from the narration we will come to know that. So it's a brief explanation of the entry. Now goods you know means what are the things. Accounting year is 12 months. That is any particular accounting year is starting from 1st April to ending on 31st March of every year. This is a accounting year. It is also called financial year. Now trading concern. Many organizations are there, they are involved into trading or activities, like means they may not be making any manufacturing or other activities, just a purchase and sale. So that type of organization and manufacturing companies, like that, many things are there. So trading means just dealing in exchange of goods and all. Now, not for profit concern. Business are of different types. Trading concern, not for profit concern. So now trading concern is that means any goods and services are exchange of goods and services, and many organizations deal in just buying and selling. There is no activities of manufacturing, when some organizations are manufacturing or producing goods and selling it. That goodwill is the reputation of business expressed in terms of money. Goodwill is an intangible asset of a business which reflects superior earning capacity over a normal return on investment, supported by favorable location, the ability and skill of firm's employees and management, quality of its products and services, customer satisfaction, etc. Over a period of years, the fame or the name or the credibility earned by the organization is called goodwill. Now, solvent. What is the meaning of solvent? All persons or firms whose assets are equal to or more than their liabilities are called solvent person or firm or a company. That means their assets are more than their liabilities. Okay. The payable, outside payables are less than the assets they own. So that means the company will never get into a problem. Whereas in insolvent, that means a person or a firm's or a company's liabilities are more than their assets. Even if they sell their assets, they cannot pay off their liabilities. So in that case, the company will become as an insolvent company because it cannot run further. Now, some basic terms of capital. What is capital? What is net worth? What is drawings? Debtor, creditor, bad debts, expenditure. Now, capital is the investment or fund invested by the owner or the partners or the shareholders. The fund invested by the owner of a single owner is a proprietary concern, and it is a capital invested by in single individual. Whereas the funds invested by more than one owners means it is a partnership firm. Invested by the partners is called partnership capital account. Whereas in private limited or limited corporate companies, it is the shareholders fund. Shareholders invest money into the business, that is called capital, equity capital. Now, net worth. Net worth is the total amount of fund provided by the proprietor in his business. So the thing is that the capital invested along with the surplus earned. For example, it is the first year, then there would be any this thing. The capital is the net worth. The capital invested is the net worth. And whereas over a period of time, 1 year, over a period of time, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 6 years down the line, when the capital invested plus the retained profit, that is called the net worth. So now drawings. Drawings is the amount withdrawn by the proprietor or partners or the owners for their personal use. That is called drawings. Debtor. Debtor is a person from whom the company has to get money. That means the person who owes to the company is called a debtor. In case of goods or services provided, the company has to get money from the person whom the goods are sold or the services are provided. So the person who has to give the money to the company is called a debtor, and creditor is just opposite. Once the person to whom the company owe. That means the company has to pay for the suppliers or for the services provided, and the company, the amount payable to the person for the purchase of goods or services provided is called a creditor. Bad debts means receivables which are not going to get. That means out of the total debtors, some debtors may become bad, they may not be able to pay. So we over a time it has to be written off from the books of accounts because it is not going to come back. That is called bad debts. Now expenditure. Expenditure, you know what is the means? Karcha. So expenditure are of three types. One, capital expenditure. That means any expenditure related to the capital. This is not the fund invested. It is on the basis of assets, like machinery or building, land, any other things. Like means any expenditure incurred on that particular means capital is called a capital expenditure. This capital expenditure is for a long term. It's not for a short term. The benefit of that capital expenditure is going to be spread over a long period of time. So that is called capital expenditure. Now, revenue expenditure. Revenue expenditure normally comes is for a short term, means mainly for 12 months. The expenditure incurred by the business from which no future benefit is expected, but having immediate or short term benefit, may be less than 1 year or within a year, is known as revenue expenditure. Now, deferred revenue expenditure. An expenditure which is basically revenue in nature, but the benefit of which is available to the business for 2 or more years. So like for example, any large scale expenses on advertising, that advertising campaigns, that effect of that advertisement campaign maybe for 2 3 4 like that, for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, like that it is. So that type of expenditure is called deferred revenue expenditure. Now revenue, what is revenue? Revenue means income, trading revenue and non-trading revenue or other indirect income. Trading means operating means any sales, purchase and other total sales minus total expenditure is called revenue. Whatever the activity, the revenue in arised out of the trading activity is called trading revenue, and non-trading revenue is called like any other. For example, the company must have invested into some investment or some fixed deposit, like that means for future purposes, and that interest received or any other things received apart from that, for any interest, dividend or any other or discount, or these things are non-trading revenues. It cannot involve into that, like that. And other indirect income, any other indirect income. Profit is excess of revenue over expenses. Profit is equal to revenue minus expenses. These are very simple terms. Loss is excess of expenses over revenue. Loss is equal to expenses minus revenue. Means खर्चा ज़्यादा होगा, revenue कम होगा. In that case वो minus में जाता है. Profit बोलेगा तो revenue मतलब income ज़्यादा है, expenses कम है, तो जो profit आ जाता है. Now, assets. Assets include non-current and current assets. Non-current assets are fixed assets and long-term investment. The major and often largest value asset of most companies that be that the company's machinery, buildings and property, etc. These are fixed assets that are usually held for many years, and the benefit of that is the company will get for many years. Current assets are cash or cash equivalents or liquid assets, which may include treasury bills and certificates of deposits, etc. Many things will come under current assets. Current assets means that particular period that money can be received or paid at any time within the particular year. So that can be liquidated or it can be cashed at any time. Accounts receivable lists the amounts of money owed to the company by its customers for the sale of its products. Inventory is also considered as an asset. Stock, cash balance, bank balance, means then closing stock like inventory, etc. are considered as current assets. Assets formula is assets is equal to capital plus retained profit plus outside liabilities. Means total liabilities is equal to, that is a balance sheet formula, total liabilities is equal to total assets. Total assets is equal to total liabilities. So when just we see as what is assets, assets is the total of capital plus retained profit plus outside liabilities. No, liabilities बोलेगा तो जो अपने को जो कंपनी को देने का है वो liabilities में जो capital plus retained profit भी एक liability में आ जाता है, because that company has to pay to the owner or the shareholders. Liabilities are debts that a company owes and costs that it needs to pay in order to keep the company running. जो भी पेमेंट, जो भी कुछ भी चीज़ परचेस किया या कुछ सर्विस मिला रहेगा, जो सर्विस लिया रहेगा, उसके लिए जो पेमेंट देना है, दैट इज़ कॉल्ड लायबिलिटी. और एनी अदर मीन्स टैक्स लायबिलिटी पेएबल टू गवर्नमेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस, गवर्नमेंट अथॉरिटीज़. दीज आर liabilities. That is a liability, whether it is a long term or a bill that is due to be paid. Costs include rent, taxes, utilities, salaries, wages and dividends payable. जो भी पेमेंट करना है वो सब लाइबिलिटीज़ में आ जाता है. लाइबिलिटीज़ का फॉर्मूला आउटसाइड लाइबिलिटीज़. लाइबिलिटीज़ बोले तो टोटल मीन्स ओनर्स फंड वो कैपिटल भी आ जाता है, उसमें रिटर्न प्रॉफिट जो भी सरप्लस रहेगा वो आ जाता है. और आउटसाइड लाइबिलिटीज़ उसके अलावा जो भी है वो आउटसाइड लायबिलिटी है. तो आउटसाइड लायबिलिटीज इज इक्वल टू असेट्स माइनस कैपिटल विथ सरप्लस, मीन्स जो भी रिटर्न प्रॉफिट रहेगा वो. Now shareholders equity. In the case of corporate companies, this is applicable. Whereas in the case of a proprietor, the owner, a single man is the owner, and he puts the money. That is called capital. Whereas in the case of a partnership firm, more than one persons invest money into the business. That is called partnership business. So they put the money. That is called the partners capital. Now in the case of shareholders equity, this is the amount invested into the business by the shareholders for starting the business in the beginning. More than one persons invest into the company as a in the shares of the company is called equity capital, equity shareholding. The shareholders equity is a company's total assets minus its total liabilities. Retained earnings are part of shareholders equity. This number is the sum total of earnings that were not paid to shareholders as dividends. उसका मीनिंग क्या है, जो भी डिविडेंड देने के बाद में जो बैलेंस जो बचता है, फॉर एग्जांपल रिजर्व एंड सरप्लस में तो बहुत सारा चीज़ आ जाता है, general reserve, any building, any repair fund or any other things, that means that is allocated out of the profit earned any particular year, वो इसको अप्रोप्रिएशन हो जाता है और उसमें से जो डिविडेंड के लिए अप्रोप्रिएशन हो जाता है और जो बैलेंस जो बचता है वो इसमें मीन्स शेयर होल्डर्स का जो रिजर्व्स एंड सरप्लस का जो शेयर होल्डर्स इक्विटी के नीचे वो रिजर्व्स एंड सरप्लस करके कहा जाता है. उसमें ये सब जनरल रिजर्व, मेनी अदर रिजर्व्स आर कमिंग, and along with that profit and loss account, that balance profit will be added to that. So that is called retained earnings. Think of retained earnings as savings, since it represents the total profits that have been saved and put aside or retained for future use. Now balance sheet formula is equity assets is equal to liabilities. So now what is equity? Equity is equal to assets minus liabilities. Other liabilities, outside liabilities. Locate the company's total assets on the balance sheet for the period. Then total all liabilities, which should be separate listing on the balance sheet. Then total liabilities are total shareholders equity plus retained earnings plus total outside liabilities. Now total assets will be equal to the sum of liabilities and total equity. So assets will be equal to the sum of liabilities plus total equity. Now the final accounts, now before making the final accounts consists of trading profit and loss account, that income statement, and then a balance sheet, means a financial statement. So these two things are the financial statements. That one is income statement, that is trading profit and loss account, and the second thing is balance sheet, that is a financial statement, which explains the financial position of the company. Now before making the financial statements, one should prepare a trial balance. Then after preparing the trial balance, why the trial balance is made? Trial balance is made just to see the arithmetical accuracy of the accounts entered. Then trading profit and loss account and the balance sheet. Now we will see some practical examples for this, so that the concept will be very clear. I hope whatever we explained you understood and it is clear, or if there is any doubt you can just watch again and again at your convenience, and just means after pausing whatever it is not understood you can pause there and then see again and again, watch again and again, you will come to know. Now I will just, we will go to the that format of the financial accounts. Come on. Now before making that final accounts, I told you, means we have to make a trial balance. Okay, so there are three parts of final accounts: one trading account, profit and loss account, and balance sheet. Now in most of the cases, trading profit and loss account is made as a one statement, and then that I will show you separately, and then balance sheets separately. So two things will come, but actually when it's a manufacturing concern, it is trading account will be there, profit and loss account there. When a non-manufacturing organization, it will be profit and loss account and balance sheet. But when we make the for a manufacturing concern, the final income statement will be prepared, trading profit and loss account combined. So now, before the preparation of final accounts, a trial balance to be prepared. Now the rule is making the trial balance. The rule is debit balances in the debit side. Take all the debits, means all the debit columns and credit columns are total, and the difference are taken, and the difference will be taken into the respective side of the trial balance. So debit balances are taken on the debit side, and credit balances are taken on the credit side. Now debit all expenses, assets, balances, advances given, receivable, etc., investments, deposits, prepaid expenses, etc., and those accounts have debit balance, जिसमें भी जो debit balance रहेगा वो debit side में ले लेंगे. Then credit all income, capital balances, loans, advances received, liabilities, payables, outstandings, etc., and those accounts have credit balances. जो भी credit balance रहेगा वो credit side में ले लेंगे. If the double entry rules are strictly followed, the trial balance will tally. उसमें कुछ डाउट नहीं है. अगर कुछ प्रॉब्लम रही है, मैनुअल अकाउंटिंग में होता है आजकल, तो सब कंप्यूटराइज्ड अकाउंटिंग हो गया, सो इट इज़ नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम. ऑटोमेटिकली वो टैली हो जाता है, और अरिथमेटिकली अगर किसी का प्रॉब्लम नहीं आता है. बट इन प्रिंसिपल अगर कुछ गलत रहेगा, दैट कैन नॉट बी रेक्टिफाइड. वो तो मीन्स चेक करके ही बता पाएगा, एंड मीन्स एक्सपीरियंस और learned accountant can understand the things. Okay, while training, that should be means taught, means how to which account should go principally. So like that it is. Then make adjustment entries and prepare trial balance again. Like that means, for example, in the previous video, part 3, I explained the accounting cycle, means कैसा कैसा करने का है. पहला डॉक्यूमेंट्स आएगा, देन उसका एंट्री होएगा, देन उसका पोस्टिंग होएगा, फिर एक फर्स्ट ट्रायल बैलेंस बनेगा, जो ओरिजिनल ट्रायल, जो फर्स्ट ट्रायल बैलेंस. उसके बाद में एडजस्टमेंट एंट्रीज लाइक मीन्स एनी इनकम रिसीवेबल होगा, या एक्रूड इंटरेस्ट होगा, मीन्स जो आउटस्टैंडिंग लायबिलिटीज़ होगा, वो सब जो आउटस्टैंडिंग एक्सपेंसेस होगा, ये सब का एंट्रीज पास करता है. डेप्रिसिएशन से बहुत सारा ऐसा मीन्स जो फाइनल एंट्रीज होता है, एडजस्टमेंट एंट्रीज, वो एंट्रीज करने के बाद में वापस एक ट्रायल बैलेंस बनाएगा. Now then, and finally वो जो फाइनल जो आफ्टर एडजस्टमेंट का जो ट्रायल बैलेंस बनने के बाद में, now we can prepare trading profit and loss account and balance sheet from a tallied trial balance. So it is most important that before preparing the final accounts, trial balance must tally. Nowadays it is not problem, because a tally accounting or computer accounting, ERP software, that will be automatically taken care. Now let us see a performer of a trial balance. I am just taking here ABC Enterprises, means just for the purpose of the only trial balance is on so and so. This statement will be prepared. This will be prepared in two methods. One is the means that take on the debit side, means a middle column, and then the left side is the debit side and the right side is the credit side. This type, both ways. Take that means the items comes under these are sundry debtors, purchases, sales returns, opening stock, land and building, furniture, machinery, carriage inward, rent rates and taxes, drawings, salaries, bad debts, investment, advertisement, bills receivable, etc. Now on the credit side, you see amounts are taken. This is for the purpose of means just to make an understanding which are the items coming under this trial balance in the debit side, and which are the items coming under the credit side. Final actual will be we will be doing in fifth video. So once you know this, then that will be easy to understand. That is the reason I am giving this. Now credit side, capital account, sales, sundry creditors, sundry income, bank loan, bank OD or CC, discount received, interest received, purchase returns, commission received, outstanding liabilities, bills payable, etc. Now this can be prepared in an other way also. Effects are same, but the presentation is a different type. That is the thing, nothing else. Here a single the particulars are taken in the single side. Debit column and credit column are taken together, means that side by side. And this side is debit side and this side is credit side. So now the items are taken here like this. So now capital account, it is taken on the credit side, purchases taken on the debit side, and then sales on the credit side, then sundry debtors debit, sundry creditors credit, sales return, purchase returns credit, sales return debit, opening stock debit, land and building debit, furniture, etc., machinery, etc., all assets in the debit side. Then sundry income is a credit, bank loan udhari hai, liabilities, so credit, bank OD, CC, all this. Then carriage inward is an expend, that is a debit side, rent rates and taxes expenditure is a debit. Then discount received is an income, credit, interest received income, credit, commission received is an income, it is credit, outstanding liabilities liability hai, credits. Now drawing is a debit things, is a personal expenditure of the owner. Now salaries expenditure debit, then bad debts expenditure debit, investment is an investment, that is a assets debit. Then advertisement is an expense, so debit. Bills receivable is a means asset, it is a debit. Now bills payable is a liability, it is a credit. Cash in hand is an asset, is a debit. Cash at bank is also an asset, it is debit. So now total it will come. The total must tally, it should not different. Now I think you understood the preparation of trial balance. Okay, all the debit balance are taken here in this debit side, and credit balance are taken the credit side. Like this, all debit balance are taken the debit side, and credit balance are taken the credit side. Okay, now we'll see how to make a trading. What are the things coming under a trading account. So here I am showing a trading account in a separate way. In most of the organizations, the manufacturing organization, trading profit and loss account are taken together. Upper part is trading account, and then there the GP is taken, and then the lower portion of the trading account will be taken as a profit and loss account. So where net profit is arised. Now trading profit and loss account has two parts. One is an expenditure part and the other is an income part, a debit side and a credit side. Now just see here in trading account, sales, by sales is taken on the credit side, and two columns are prepared. Unless returns or any other additional entries are to be made, it will be taken here. And then the net will be taken in the outer column. Now goods lost by fire, it's also taken on the credit side because it is taken into the credit side because and then taken into the debit side of the profit and loss account. Goods lost by theft is also taken on the credit side of the trading account because it affected the trading account, that is the reason, and then it will be written off through the profit and loss account. Goods distributed as free samples taken in this trading account. Goods lost in accident also, and here in this case accident, if there is an insurance, whatever the claim it is received, that should be taken into the income side. Okay, then the total the goods lost is taken here, and then whatever is the claim receivable or that might to be actually received should be taken, should be deducted, and the balance should be taken on the profit and loss account. Now goods withdrawn by partners, this is also taken. Then closing stock, and if then this should be taken in the debit side. The opening stock is taken. Purchases less any add any means other items less returns outward, means purchase returns is taken here. It will be taken on the outer column. Then carriage inward, any material brought into the company for the purpose of manufacturing, it is called carriage inward. Then freight, then dock charges, custom duty, clearing and forwarding charges. This is in case of import. Then wages for the purpose of manufacturing, wages and salaries. This is also taken, means if it is taken as wages and salaries, it is taken in the trading side, whereas in the case of salaries and wages, then should go to the profit and loss account. Now power and fuel, this is also for the purpose of manufacturing, production. Then royalty paid on purchase or production, and this also come into the expenditure. We paid the royalty paid on purchase or production the purposes. Some case of royalty should be payable to any concerns like that it is. So that should be taken as an expenditure and to be taken into the trading account. Then primary packing charges, like for example, any material is prepared and should be packed. For example, any say any food products that should be packed in a particular product. Say Amul milk. So the milk is packed in a plastic bag. Without that, the milk cannot be given into the means any other things. No, it's not this thing. So that milk that is used for packing the milk is primary packing material, that expenditure. Whereas so many packets are there that is put in a container or means any other car box or then other charges, that is an expenditure that is not directly related to the primary thing, the manufacturing. So that will go to the profit and loss account. So whereas it directly involved direct expenditure mein jo aata hai, that is taken into the trading account. Now factory lighting and heating, like means factory expenditure में आता है, factory rent and rates, factory maintenance, then repairs and of machinery, factory building, etc. Major repairing, जो overall means just a small repairs will be written off. I means any for some consumables like small things are there, that will be written off as a not in the trading account. Whereas a major repairs of machinery, any or factory building, etc. are taken into the representative trading account. But whereas if it is a very repairs of machinery, factory building, etc., this is a very small expenditure are involved, that will be taken here, whereas a major expenditure are involved, that is treated as a capital expenditure. So that should be taken this is minor repairs, or we call it as a maintenance. It is not a repair. So because the repairs of machinery, land and building, your major part hai, that will be treated as a capital expenditure. So that should not come into profit either in trading account or in profit and loss account. So maintenance of machinery and factory buildings means greasing, some small spare parts, all these things will come under this account. No, stores and spares, consumables means जो भी इसमें जो production के लिए any other things are used, that is called spare parts or use or spare materials used for the production. Factory administration expenditure, factory insurance, works manager salary, trade expenses, etc. Are taken. Now these are direct income and direct expenditure. If total direct income is more than the total direct expenditure, then there will be a gross profit. Whereas if the total direct expenditures are more than the total direct income revenue, then there will be a gross loss to the company. So that if it is a loss, then that should be carried forward to the profit and loss account on the debit side. So it will be carried forward, and if there is a gross profit, then it should be carried forward to the profit and loss account on the credit side. Hope you understood this trading account part. Now profit and loss account, how to make a profit and loss account. Here also I'm just giving a pro forma only for the purpose of just understanding. Just if you understand this, all these things, then it will be easy to understand the final accounts. Now in the last case I told you that if there is a loss, then that should be taken into the profit and loss account debit side, and if there is a gross profit, it is taken on the credit side of the profit and loss account. That means gross profit brought down. Now indirect revenue, these are commission received, discount received, interest received, dividend received, royalty received, rent received, miscellaneous receipts, etc. And then this is on the credit side. Along with the gross profit, these other incomes are also added up, and then the debit side, all the other expenditure. This expenditure is also bifurcated for the purpose of better understanding, means convenience. It can be grouped. Now I'm just giving it for the as a common thing. You can just see that the debit side, all expenditure are coming. Indirect expenditure, advertisement expenditure, delivery charges, transportation, secondary packing expenses, like that. Means in the trading account I told, directly involved packing materials are called direct packing, and any other means secondary, means after that, if any for distribution purpose the packings are made, that is called secondary packing expenses. Traveling expenses of salesman or anybody of the organization. For example, many other means directors or any other means managers, they travel for the purpose of business. Only for the purpose of business, the traveling expenses. Then export duty paid, export clearing charges, sales charges, salaries and wages, provident fund, ESIC, bonus. ESIC, that means whatever collected and whatever the amount excess paid. Provident fund also means collection less means employers contribution plus admin charges. These are that excess payment is taken into the debit to the profit and loss account. Then bonus paid, leave encashment, leave travel allowance, staff welfare, staff incentives, labor welfare expenditure, staff insurance. Many things comes under this. Then interest on bank term loan, interest on bank cash credit, OD, interest on unsecured loan, interest on NBFC, non-banking finance companies loan, bills discounting charges, bank charges, electricity charges, telephone charges, rent rates, then insurance premium paid for assets and stock, printing and stationery, conveyance, loading and unloading, audit fees, legal and professional charges, solicitors fees, taxes paid, any other taxes, means any municipal taxes or any other taxes paid, repairs and maintenance, entertainment expenses, carriage outward, commission allowed, discount allowed, means paid, staff allowances, bad debts, general expenses, loss on sale of fixed assets, loss by fire, loss by theft. That means there we have taken into the means the trading account is to take on the credit side. Now loss by accident, here it is taken on the credits in the debit side of the profit and loss account. Now sundry or miscellaneous expenditure, other office expenses, depreciation, only depreciation. Now if the gross profit plus other income, other revenues are more than this total of indirect expenditure, total of this indirect expenditure, there will be a net profit. This is called the net profit transfer to capital account. Whereas in the case of means if this expenditure are more than the gross profit and the other income, then there will be a net loss to the company, and that will be carried forward to the capital account. And this is called a T form, means a T form of trading profit and loss account. Now we can also means group this into accounts can be grouped for the convenience, means now it's so lengthy, means these are not made, means it should be means included in one page, so that the reference will be very easy, and along with the that references are given with in the schedules. Selling and distribution is like that. This is, so it is already given here, you can just see this. Then the selling and distribution expenditure, delivery charges, transportation, secondary packing charges, traveling expenses are grouping under selling and distribution. Then personal expenditure, salaries, all this related to staff. Then financial expenditure related to the means any loan, bank loan, any other finances taken for the purpose of business. That interest paid on that is called, and also included bank charges also taken in the financial expense. Then administrative expenditure. These are a lengthy list. So you can just see this one by one. Selling and distribution expenditure, you can take this, and then you can scroll down and just see that. So that means you can understand better. Okay, now come to balance sheet side. This is also T-form balance sheet. Rule: all tangible and intangible assets in the trial balance to be taken to the asset side. All fixed assets, non-current, and current assets or on asset side. Preliminary, prepaid, advances given, etc. taken to the asset side. Then capital, reserves and surplus, loans and liabilities to take on liability side. Outstanding liabilities, advances received, etc. on the liability side. Now in balance sheet there are two types, two sides. Here we told means debit side and credit side. Whereas in balance sheet it is called liability side and asset side. In trading account it was on the credit side, the income or liabilities comes in the credit side, whereas and expenditure or assets comes in the left side, debit side. Whereas in balance sheet the this side is the liability side and this side is the asset side. So which are coming under the asset side? The goodwill, that's then land and building less depreciation, plant and machinery less depreciation minus करके जो depreciation will go to the profit and loss account, where we have already shown that depreciation taken in the debit side. See, depreciation. So like that means all this depreciation it can be means made into a means a schedule and then combined. Then all this in furniture and fixture less depreciation, equipments less depreciation, vehicle, motor car or any other thing, or for the purpose of van or etc. Less depreciation, electrical installation less depreciation, computer or IT items less depreciation, leasehold, all these things. You can just see this. Various items are taken and then उसका depreciation लेते हैं. Then investments, debit asset side, prepaid expenses asset side, outstanding income debit side, asset side, loans and advances asset side, closing stock is an asset, sundry debtors is an asset, and any adjustments and bad debts written off also minus करके provision for the for discount on debtors और ये सब ये करके less करके जो balance आएगा, जो net आएगा, that will take in the outside column. So that is sundry debtors asset. Then insurance claim and asset is receivable. Insurance claim receivable is an asset, bills receivable asset, cash in an asset, cash at bank asset, partners current account if it is a debit balance. अगर loss current assets में ये partners का रहेगा तो profit रहेगा तो ये नहीं आएगा, ठीक है. then वो तो डायरेक्टली उसमें से जो माइनस करते जाएगा. तो ये करंट पार्टनर्स जो दो टाइप का जो अकाउंट्स बनाता है इसके लिए जो इधर लिया है, अदरवाइज इट इज़ नॉट टेकन इनटू अकाउंट. नाउ लायबिलिटी साइड the capital accounts means अगर समझो there are three partners taken और current account जो maintain कर रहे तो then means otherwise it is directly this capital of suppose A इतना है less add profit less okay, ये outer column में आएगा, B का भी ऐसा आएगा, C का भी ऐसा आएगा, जितना भी पार्टनर्स रहेगा उसका ऐसा आएगा. और करंट अकाउंट में इनकम कर रहे तो जो फिक्स कैपिटल इधर टोटल ले लेगा और देन करंट अकाउंट का सेपरेट अगर मीन्स वो शेड्यूल रखे उसमें से ऐसा डिटेल्स में से जो समरी ला के इधर रखेगा, एंट्री करेगा. तो नाउ रिजर्व्स एंड सरप्लस, जनरल रिजर्व्स आता है, प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट आता है, ये सब में आएगा. लोन्स एंड एडवांसेस, टर्म लोन, बैंक ऑडी, कैश, बैंक कैश क्रेडिट, मॉर्गेज लोन, NBFC लोन, अनसिक्योर्ड लोन, लोन फ्रॉम पार्टनर्स, ये सब लेके या डायरेक्टर्स जिससे भी लेते हैं ये इधर ले लेते हैं, इसके टोटल लेके इधर आउटर कॉलम में ले लेते हैं. देन सन्ड्री क्रेडिटर्स, जो एनी अदर एडजस्टमेंट्स, ये सब करके इधर जो नेट आएगा वो इधर आउटर कॉलम में लेते हैं. बिल्स पेएबल, लायबिलिटी, अदर लायबिलिटीज, आउटस्टैंडिंग एक्सपेंसेस, इनकम रिसीव्ड इन एडवांस, credit, then provision for taxes, ये सब लेके then the balance sheet must tally. If the trial balance is tallied, then then the profit and loss account is prepared properly, then the balance sheet must tally. Okay, so then now schedules are prepared on the for the purpose of convenience. So liability side, शेड्यूल नंबर 1 सो एंड सो ऐसा करके देते हैं, और कैपिटल अकाउंट्स उसमें अमाउंट इन्वेस्टेड प्लस रिजर्व प्लस प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट लेस ड्राइंग्स, ये सब जो ये बनाते हैं. और लायबिलिटीज अकाउंट्स में लॉन्ग टर्म लोन, शॉर्ट टर्म लोन, अनसिक्योर्ड लोन लाइक वो आ जाते हैं. सन्ड्री क्रेडिटर्स में सप्लायर्स प्लस अदर रॉ मटेरियल का, कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर का, देन एक्सपेंसेस का, ये सब सन्ड्री पेएबल्स का आता है. सन्ड्री क्रेडिटर्स, अदर लायबिलिटीज, स्टैट्यूटरी लायबिलिटी आता है, टैक्सेस और ये सब का. आउटस्टैंडिंग एक्सपेंसेस का लायबिलिटी आता है, पेएबल. एडवांसेस रिसीवेबल आता है. देन असेट साइड में फिक्स्ड असेट्स, इन्वेस्टमेंट्स, करंट असेट्स में सन्ड्री डेटर्स, बिल्स रिसीवेबल, डिपॉजिट्स, प्रीपेड एक्सपेंसेस, बैंक बैलेंस, कैश, बैंक एक्सेट्रा, स्टॉक, इन्वेंट्री, सब आता है. इंटेंजिबल असेट्स में आता है गुडविल, पैटेंट एक्सेट्रा. प्रिलिमिनरी एक्सपेंसेस में जो इनिशियली जो बिफोर स्टार्टिंग ये जो कंपनी जो स्टार्ट करने का टाइम में जो एक्सपेंडिचर हो जाता है वो प्रिलिमिनरी वो राइट ऑफ करते हैं, और सपोर्ट 10 years लाइक दैट इट इज़, वो पीरियडिक इसमें करते हैं, तो बैलेंस उसमें कैरी फॉरवर्ड करते हैं साइड में. इफ इट इज़ नॉट देयर फिनिश देन इट विल नॉट बी शोन. नाउ ये सब ये जो है अलग टाइप का, ये जो एक आपको एक बता रहा हूँ वर्टिकल फॉर्मेट में. हाउ मीन्स एक लिमिटेड कंपनी का एक मीन्स मैंने जस्ट ये दिया है फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ योर अंडरस्टैंडिंग. नाउ द बैलेंस शीट इज means just displayed on the first side of the first page. So now just see the schedules are made. Schedules are made like this. I have already told you schedules are made. Now also means just before going to the balance sheet we will just see profit and loss account mein. Here in this case, now I'll just show you, means I told you, means many organizations this trading profit and loss account are taken in a one statement. So the upper part is called the trading part, and the balance is, if there is a profit it will be carried brought down to income profit and loss account, and if there is a loss it is taken to the debit side of the profit and loss account. So the upper part is considered as a trading account, and the lower part is taken as the credit side. So it is made in the one thing. So it can be means just see for the purpose of convenience this is taken in schedule बना के वो सब इसमें ये करके लिखेगा. दैट मीन्स लुक्स वेरी नाइस एंड नीट, क्लीन तो हो जाता है और देखने में बहुत ज़्यादा है. और समझो ये प्रीपेड पर्सनल एक्सपेंसेस क्या है और शेड्यूल जाके देखे तो मालूम पड़ेगा. सेलिंग एंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन में क्या है वो भी मालूम पड़ेगा. एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में क्या है वो भी और शेड्यूल में जाएगा तो मालूम पड़ेगा. तो इट लुक्स वेरी डिसेंट एंड ईजी. नो बैलेंस शीट में भी ऐसा ही है. शेड्यूल बना के हम लोग इसको रख सकते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल करंट अकाउंट का जो है और उसका शेड्यूल बना के यहाँ ले लिया और रिजर्व एंड सरप्लस का शेड्यूल बना के इधर टोटल जो शेड्यूल में से इधर लिया. लोन्स का भी टोटल जितना लोन्स रहेगा वो समझो मोर देन 1 रहेगा तो वो शेड्यूल में लेके इसमें लेते हैं. इफ़ इट इज़ 1 or 2 यू कैन डायरेक्टली राइट हियर. और करंट लायबिलिटीज़ का भी समझो सन्ड्री क्रेडिट का लिस्ट समझो सपोज इट रन्स इनटू मेनी पेजेस मल्टीपल पेजेस तो इसमें नहीं ले सकता है. तो तो उसको अलग से एक स्टेटमेंट बना के, शेड्यूल बना के उसमें ले लेते हैं, उसका टोटल इसमें ले सकते हैं। लोन्स एंड क्रेडिटर्स, अदर लायबिलिटी से सेम वे एसेट्स का भी एक फिक्स एसेट्स का एक ये शेड्यूल बना के इसमें ले सकते हैं कितना भी रहेगा। और इन्वेस्टमेंट जो मोर देन वन इन्वेस्टमेंट रहेगा, नंबर ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट रहेगा, तो फॉर एग्जांपल सम कंपनीज इन्वेस्ट टू मल्टीपल कंपनीज का शेयर होल्ड उसमें ये करते हैं, इन्वेस्ट करते हैं, या कोई आइटम्स में इन्वेस्ट करते हैं, तो उसका टोटल लिस्ट लेके इन्वेस्टमेंट में रहता है। करंट एसेट्स का बहुत लंबा लिस्ट हो जाता है, तो वो भी शेड्यूल बना के इधर ले सकते हैं। ओके, लाइक दैट इट इज़। सो इट लुक्स वेरी नीट एंड क्लीन। नाउ वर्टिकल फॉर्मेट में जो बैलेंस शीट आएगा, सी जस्ट सी दिस इक्विटीज़ एंड दिस ए कॉर्पोरेट कंपनीज का ये मैंने लिया, ये तो मैंने पार्टनरशिप का टाइप का जो बनाया है, ठीक है। ये अभी कॉर्पोरेट का एक वर्टिकल फॉर्मेट बैलेंस शीट बनाया है। तो लाइक मीन्स लाइक करंट ईयर और प्रीवियस ईयर, ये जो कंपैरिजन के लिए लेता है। और ये जो है इक्विटी एंड शेयर होल्डर से शेयर कैपिटल का जो है शेड्यूल बनाता है, इधर डालता है। और रिजर्व्स एंड सरप्लस का भी शेड्यूल 3 में रहेगा, वो इधर ले लेते हैं, जो प्रीवियस ईयर का इधर रहेगा। देन नॉन करंट असेट्स लायबिलिटीज़, वो भी इधर शेड्यूल बना के लेते हैं। करंट लायबिलिटीज़, शॉर्ट टर्म ट्रेड लायबिलिटीज, स्प्रेड पेबल, ऑल दिस। तो टोटल लायबिलिटीज़ इधर आ जाता है। सेम वे ये इधर आ जाता है। तो इधर आ जाता है। सो वो यहाँ आ जाता है। नाउ ये टोटल लायबिलिटीज़ हो गया, टोटल लायबिलिटीज़। नाउ दिस टोटल लायबिलिटीज़ के साथ में तो फर्स्ट पार्ट इक्विटीज़ लायबिलिटीज़ आ गया, और नेक्स्ट एसेट्स आ गया। एसेट्स में नॉन करंट एसेट्स, फिक्स्ड एसेट्स आ गया, टैंजिबल और इनटैंजिबल एसेट्स आ गया शेड्यूल 10 में वो अलग से शीट बनाते हैं। और लॉन्ग टर्म लोन्स एंड एडवांसेस का जो भी रहेगा वो इधर ले लेते हैं। देन करंट असेट्स में इन्वेंट्रीज, ट्रेड रिसीवेबल्स मीन्स सन्ड्री डेटर्स, कैश एंड बैंक, कैश और कैश इक्विवेलेंट्स, कैश एंड बैंक बैलेंस, शॉर्ट टर्म लोन्स एंड एडवांसेस, करंट असेट्स, ये सब इधर लेके इसका टोटल इधर लेते हैं। सो ये टोटल ऑफ असेट्स, टोटल ऑफ लायबिलिटीज़ इज मस्ट बी इक्वल टू टोटल ऑफ लायबिलिटीज़। देन उसका ये जो एक लिमिटेड कंपनी का एक फॉर्मेट मैंने दिया है, उसका कंपनी का ये जो है वो इसका 2 डायरेक्टर साइन करता है, और चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट जो ऑडिट करने के बाद में उसको वो सर्टिफाई करता है, उसका मेंबरशिप नंबर सब डाल देते हैं। सो दिस इज सर्टिफाइड फॉर्मेट ऑफ द थिंग। नाउ देन नेक्स्ट उसका एक इनकम स्टेटमेंट, जो प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस स्टेटमेंट फॉर द पीरियड 1 फॉर हियर क्या करता है, एज ऑन डेट एज बैलेंस शीट एज सच 31 मार्च, ऑन दिस पर्टिकुलर डेट, ये जो पर्टिकुलर एज ऑन एनी डेट ये बैलेंस शीट बनाते हैं। नॉर्मली अभी 1 साल का रहेगा तो 31 मार्च में ले लेते हैं। और ईयर एक पूरा साल का है, मीन्स 1/4/2021 टू 31 मार्च 2022, मीन्स पूरा 12 महीने का ये पीरियड का प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट है, स्टेटमेंट है या ट्रेडिंग। सो नाउ रेवेन्यू वो डायरेक्टली ले लेता है कितना है जो सेल्स जो है। और अदर इनकम अगर मोर देन ये रहेगा तो अदर इनकम का शेड्यूल बनाते हैं, और ये भी शेड्यूल 1 में डालते हैं, ठीक है। देन शेड्यूल 1 में डाल देते हैं, वो इसका पार्ट देते हैं उधर से नीचे अदर इनकम का भी। देन since it is a revenue, it is taken on the schedule 1, and then from here onwards it is taken on the 2, 3, like that means the schedules. So now it's not necessary कोई भी अपना हिसाब से वो, लेकिन वो सीरियली होना चाहिए। तो उसके लिए ये इधर से अगर समझो, अगर हम लोग नाउ एक्सपेंसेस का जो इसके हिसाब से, मीन्स जिसका हिसाब से जो भी है उसके हिसाब से शेड्यूल दे सकते हैं, लेकिन शेड्यूल प्रॉपर क्रॉस रेफरेंस होना चाहिए। फॉर एग्जांपल शेड्यूल नंबर इधर 1 दे दिया और कुछ अलग इसमें जो रेवेन्यू और सेल्स का या रेवेन्यू अदर इनकम का दिया तो वो नहीं चलेगा। तो शेड्यूल नंबर अगर प्रॉपरली लिखना चाहिए तो 1 इधर से लिया मैंने, इधर से भी, देन बाद में पूरा मीन्स बैलेंस शीट में लेके गया 2, 3। लेकिन ये अगर समझो ये इधर से भी, अभी समझो फॉर एग्जांपल ये यहाँ से मैं ये ले सकते हैं 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, ऐसा भी शेड्यूल बना सकते हैं 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16, like that it is. I can take it here. Now this is 16 17 16 हो गया 17 18 19 20 21 22 23, like that it is, means any this can be given. Now cost of material, the expenses, इधर income statement में total revenue ले लिया, अदर ये शेड्यूल में से इधर टोटल लेके इधर ले लिया. नाउ एक्सपेंसेस का जो है डिटेल बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाता है तो वो शेड्यूल्स में से बना के ले लेते हैं. तो कॉस्ट ऑफ मटेरियल कंज्यूम्ड 18, परचेस ऑफ स्टॉक इन ट्रेड, ये सब मीन्स then change in inventories or finished goods, increase or decrease in means stock, ये है ये. और एम्प्लॉय बेनिफिट मीन्स पर्सनल एक्सपेंसेस, फाइनेंस कॉस्ट, फाइनेंस चार्जेस लेते हैं, देन डिप्रिसिएशन, अमोर्टाइजेशन एक्सपेंसेस, अदर एक्सपेंसेस, ये सब लेते हैं. देन उसका मीन्स जो टोटल एक्सपेंडिचर, टोटल रेवेन्यू माइनस टोटल एक्सपेंडिचर इज इक्वल टू प्रॉफिट बिफोर टैक्स. प्रॉफिट बिफोर टैक्स आ जाता है. एंड प्रॉफिट बिफोर टैक्स में से अप्रोप्रिएशन हो जाता है, टैक्स का प्रोविजन करते हैं. करंट टैक्स इतना है, कुछ शॉर्ट टर्म और एक्सेस प्रोविजन फॉर टैक्स कितना ये किया है क्या, और डिफर्ड टैक्स किया है, ये सब क्या करते हैं और बैलेंस इधर ले लेते हैं. नाउ कुछ डिसकंटिन्यूइंग ऑपरेशन से कुछ इनकम आया क्या, नॉर्मली नहीं होता, अगर रहेगा तो वो ले लेने का. देन टोटल एक्सपेंसेस ऑफ डिस्काउंटिंग ऑपरेशन, कुछ डिस्काउंटिंग करने में इसमें आ गया क्या रहेगा तो वो सब ले लेता है. दिस आर नॉन ऑपरेटिंग एक्सपेंसेस, नॉन ऑपरेटिंग रेवेन्यूज और नॉन ऑपरेटिंग एक्सपेंडिचर. देन नेट प्रॉफिट आ जाता है. ये जो सब एलोकेशन, इसमें अगर समझो फॉर एग्जांपल कोई डिविडेंड देना डिस्ट्रीब्यूट किया रहेगा तो या डिविडेंड का हम डिक्लेयर किया रहेगा तो डिविडेंड इधर प्रोविजन कर लेते हैं. टैक्स का प्रोविजन के बाद में एक डिविडेंड ये करते हैं. देन व्हाट इज़ द नेट प्रॉफिट आफ्टर टैक्स, आफ्टर डिविडेंड, वाट एवर जो भी है वो इधर आ जाता है. और जो वो प्रॉफिट के ऊपर कितना है मीन्स जो अर्निंग पर प्रॉफिट, अर्निंग पर शेयर कैलकुलेट करता है कि उसका भी शेड्यूल बना देते हैं. एंड देन सेम वे दिस उसका दो डायरेक्टर साइन करते हैं, देन चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट सर्टिफाई करके उसको ऑडिट करके सर्टिफाई करता है कि लाइक दैट इट इज़. सो आई थिंक आप लोग को ये जो समझ में आया रहेगा, नहीं आया रहेगा तो बार बार देख लीजिए, आपको मालूम पड़ जाएगा. इट्स थोड़ा देखते टाइम में थोड़ा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड मीन्स थोड़ा ज़्यादा है, लेकिन अगर धीरे धीरे अगर देखेगा तो आराम से सब समझ में आ जाएगा. कि नाउ लेट अस गो टू द, बिकॉज इट्स गोइंग टू ए वेरी लेंथी थिंग. Now we have completed the format of trading, trial balance, trading and profit and loss account, then balance sheet. In two formats we have shown. T type of trading account, profit and loss account, then T form, balance sheet, and how to compile that, and grouping, scheduling, all these things. Then vertical form also I have given for a corporate model, income statement and the balance sheet. Now after that, now we will continue the practical example in the fifth video. Now just concluding that in this particular video, I'll just tell you the importance of accounts, learning accounts. First preference of any student who completes 12th or graduation is to get a job. तो बार प्रीवियस इसमें भी मैं बताया था, एक जॉब मिलना सबका एक ये है, और कोई काम के साथ में हायर एजुकेशन करते हैं. Now your ambition can be fulfilled if you do sincere and hard work. हार्ड वर्क करेगा तो ही कुछ भी ये चीज़ हासिल कर सकते हैं. यू कैन हार्ड वर्क is necessary to get something. Without pain there is no gain. That is a rule. Learn accounts, accounting and importance of accounts, and get your dream job and reach to a high position. Understand the importance of commerce and become an entrepreneur. Whatever you like, you want to be do a job, learn, then start get into a job, and then learn more and more, get more experience, then increase your position from a lower level to a very high level. Or if you are interested in a business, learn commerce and also learn accounts, then become an entrepreneur and be a job provider. जो भी है आपका जो जिसका जो पसंद है उसके अनुसार अपना वो सेलेक्ट कर सकते हैं. Now we have already discussed and illustrated about accounting, aspects of accounts, journal, rules, subsidiary register, posting, ledger accounts, accounting equation, balance sheet equation, and now format of balance sheets, profit and loss account, income statements and financial statements I already explained. In next video, part 5, I will show how to make a financial statements. इनसे एक प्रैक्टिकल एग्जाम्पल के साथ में मैं बताएगा तो आपको और ज़्यादा समझ में आ जाएगा. ये अगर मीन्स तब ये जो अगर देखेगा बार बार तो इसमें से जो कंटेंट्स जो है क्या हेड्स कैसा आता है, कैसा उसको ऑर्गेनाइज करता है, कैसा ग्रुपिंग करता है, कैसा शेड्यूलिंग बनाते हैं, वो सब मालूम पड़ जाएगा. एंड देन अभी एक फाइनली हम लोग जो 5th वीडियो में एक फाइनल स्टेटमेंट्स भी बताएगा, एक प्रॉपर्टी कंसर्न का बताएगा, एक पार्टनरशिप का बताएगा, सो दैट आप लोग को ये जो बैलेंस शीट बनाने के लिए, प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट बनाने के लिए आप लोग सीख सकते हैं. होप आप लोग को ये समझ में आया रहेगा. और कुछ भी डिफ़िकल्टी रहेगा तो बार बार देख लीजिए. थैंक यू फॉर वॉचिंग. नाउ consider you like the video, please subscribe, comment and share to your contacts. Thank you and good luck.